Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Glowing Stitches. If you are new to this channel, please do well to subscribe. Turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I post new videos. In today's video, we'll be learning how to make this beautiful dress with a little difference of making the length of our dress longer. So let's get started. First things first, you'll be needing your desired fabric. If you look carefully, you'd realize that there is a joining on the waistline. So to get that, minus half length from the full length of your gown, plus folding in allowance. Fold into two like so and start marking out your measurement. Start with marking out 1 inch from the side of your folded fabric like so. Mark as if you are marking out a zipper allowance for a normal dress, but note that this is not a zipper allowance. Move on to marking out your waistline and your hip points like so, and marking out the width of your measurement. If you look carefully again, you would realize that the joining is not exactly on the waistline, but a bit above the waistline and close to the underbust. So that's why we have 3 lines there, which indicates the underbust, the exact waistline, that's the half length, and the hip points. Move on to marking out the width of your measurement. For the underbust, 36 inches divided by 4 plus 2.5, which includes the dart. For the half length, 36 divided by 4 plus 2.5 inches. For the hip measurement, 44 divided by 4 plus 2 inches. After doing that, connect the lines downwards. For the down part of this pencil gown, I would be using the waist measurement, 36 inches divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. Please note that your measurement starts after the 1 inch you marked out earlier. Mark your measurement after that 1 inch and connect all the lines. After doing that, this is what it looks like. Move on to cutting out your marked piece, and ensure to cut out carefully, because we'll be using the front to cut the back. Take that aside and fold another piece of fabric. Place the front piece on the folded fabric to be able to cut the back. After placing, leave ½ inch allowance on the folded fabric and cut out like so. So if you add the 1 inch we marked on the front piece plus the ½ inch we just added to the back piece, that will give us 1.5 inch for the back, meaning we added 1.5 inches for the back piece and 1 inch for the front piece. From the downside, notch your folding in allowance 1.5 inches and separate all the folded parts. That's to say, you separate the front piece into 2 and separate the back piece into 2. After doing that, we have 4 pieces. From the top of your back piece, notch your 1.5 zipper allowance and your 1 inch on the front piece. Move on to cutting out your lining of both the front and the back piece. Cut out from the notched 1.5 folding in allowance like so, and cut out carefully. Split both sides also. Do the same thing for the back piece. After cutting, move that aside and let's concentrate on the front piece. From that middle point 1 inch we marked out earlier, mark out another 1.5 inches. So if you add the 1 inch and the 1.5 inches together, it will give you 2.5 inches. Mark it downwards and rule. The essence of this is to form that middle point where there is a black piece downwards. After doing that, mark another 2.5 inches from the previous 2.5 inches downwards to your hip point, and mark a length of about 7.5 inches or 7 inches downwards. Move on to cutting out a piece that will be able to cover that area, like so. At this point, we are trying to add the pocket area of this gown. Although it's optional, you may choose not to add pockets to your own, but for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to add side pockets. Move on to notching that point where you start placing your pockets from, like so. The length of your pocket should stop around the hip point. From the placed pocket, mark about 4 inches downwards to the 7 inches we marked out earlier to form the opening of the pocket, and curve the lines like so. After doing that, you cut, but do not cut the exact marked line. Cut and leave about 1/2 inch away from the marked line, like so. Trim out the excesses from the pockets and make it align with the skirt, like so. So we have 2 pieces of pockets, one for the left hand side and one for the right hand side. On the pocket piece, mark about 2 inches for us to be able to place that black piece on the pocket. Just watch carefully and you would understand what I'm trying to explain. Bring out your black fabric and place the pocket on it. The 2 inches we marked out would be cut on the black fabric, like so. So place carefully and cut. Note that you are not cutting 2 inches on the black piece, because you'll be adding 1/2 inch to the 2 inches, making it 2.5. That is because we added extra 1/2 inch for folding in. After marking, you cut out carefully and place on the pocket piece, one for the left piece and one for the right piece. This is what it looks like after placing it on the pocket. Sew neatly and iron carefully. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Feel free to ask questions in the comment section. Move on to bringing back your front piece and your black material to be able to cut out that black piece on the center front. So cut about 2.5 inches and place on the front piece, like so. Remember that we divided the front piece into 2, so you will be cutting that black material into 2, one for the left and one for the right. This is it after placing on the front one side, and this is it after placing my lining on the other side. So ensure to join the black piece, iron carefully before placing your lining and placing your pocket. This is what it should look like at this point. Now let's move on to cutting out the upper piece of our gown. We are going to do this in its simplest form. So start by marking out your basic bodies, your bust point, under bust and half length. Move on to ruling out the lines for easy identification. Move on to marking out your shoulder measurement, your armhole, and connect the lines carefully. Extend all lines for easy identification. Don't forget to bring down your shoulder slope by ½ inch and move on to the width of your measurement. Move on to marking out the width of your measurement plus 4 inches allowance, because we are going to cut out a princess cut in its simplest form, as simple as possible. So add 4 inches extra to your measurement and mark out like so. Connect all your lines, connect the armhole also, and move on to the middle point of your dress. Remember that your fabric or your paper should be on fold. On that fold, mark out 4 inches from the middle point and rule upwards. Move to the armhole and mark out 4½ inches. Connect the center front where you marked out 4 inches to the armhole where you marked out 4½. From the middle 4 inches, mark out 1½ and from the armhole 4½ inches, connect the lines like so in a curved manner using your ruler or using a free hand. Strike out the 1½ inches, which indicates the dart on your bustier, and we'll be taking that out. That is where the essence of the 4 inches extra we added earlier comes in. The 4 inches brings back this 1½ inches we striked out and every other normal sewing allowance for a dress. Move on to marking out your necklines, which should be around 4 by 4 inches, and curve out the lines. Connect them carefully to form that round shape. After doing all this, you cut. Don't forget to bring down your shoulder slope by ½ inch and cut. After cutting, take that aside and let's concentrate on this part. From the shoulder, mark about 8 inches downwards towards the bust point. That is the point where we would be adding or attaching the upper part of the dress. That is that black point. Cut out the striped part and place on your fabric to cut. Remember to cut on fold and cut exactly what you have, leaving ½ inch at the top for joining. Do this for all the pieces you have. Move on to cutting your back piece. Note that the 4 inches extra is not added to the back piece. Just add your zipper allowance and that for the back. So this is what the front looks like after cutting every part of it. So this is what the back looks like after joining the lining and every other part of it. For the front, you join like so. Join the center to the side like so and connect the black attachment to that part up there. which is around the chest line, a bit above the bust point. Take that aside and bring back your black material. Cut a length of about 5 inches. That's after folding. Cut a length of about 5 inches. A length of about 5 inches as long as possible. Long as possible, that will fit into the chest line, because we are going to be doing this on pleats. We are going to be pleating the upper area of this black fabric. So this part we are cutting out now is to form the pleat. This 5 inches includes the joining and the folding in to form this pleat, like so. So this is it after doing the pleat. Move on to cutting the sleeve of this dress using length 27 by width 32. Draw your gathers using your machine and pull out like so. Where the gathers is drawn should be attached to the armhole, so measure and check the length. Add your elastic at point 17, 18 or 19 depending on the length of your sleeve to give you that effect. Cut another black fabric of about 3 inches wide of the width of your waist for the front part, like so, and join to that point to give you this effect. Take to your machine and join. Ensure to iron after joining. Attach the sleeve also, and this is what it looks like after joining the sleeve and every other part of this dress. Pick out all the threads, iron neatly, and this is what it looks like. Don't forget to separate the slits in front to your desired length. So this is what it looks like. Feel free to ask questions and make suggestions. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in my next video. Bye.